Happy Tuesday, and welcome to our second week of voice chats. I guess yesterday I didn't realize marked our 7 days, so our first week that we've been doing voice chats since we started them a week ago. We have done one every single day, so if you haven't heard any of the voice chats and you want to catch up on them, there is already 7 voice chats for you guys to catch up on. As far as today's voice chat goes over, we're going to spend some more time in profitable wallets. Like I said, we're going to make a practice of doing that every day, again, to sharpen our skills, to pick up things that we might have not picked up before, and to learn some things along the way. Additionally, we're going to take some time today to talk about security in crypto. As you guys know, this space can be great. It can be a place where you take $100 and you're able to make that into 6 figures with the right practices and stuff. But we also know that this is the Wild West in terms of finances, where a lot of people are getting drained in a bunch of different ways. A lot of people don't know the proper security to take in terms of operating their wallets and what they should connect their wallets to, and what they shouldn't connect their wallets to. Also, what they should use burner wallets for in some instances, such as maybe farming airdrops or stuff like that. But we're going to get into all that as we progress. I think to make the best use out of our time, I would prefer to start with looking at some of the wallets that we're going to be looking at. Again, we're going to go into the profitable wallet section. We've taken a lot of time to look at scalpers in the past. We looked at alpha wallets recently within the last couple of days. And now today we are going to be taking a look at fresh wallets. So the reason we go through all these different wallets that have different tags is so we can get an idea of how we can utilize these wallets that are coming through this profitable wallet feed, right? We can see a wallet, we can see its tag, but if we don't know how these different wallets kind of behave, we won't know how to put in a solid plan to make sure we're capitalizing on this wallet if it looks good, if it's something that can possibly produce gains for us over the course of the week, over the course of the month, over the course of even a couple of days, if that's how long we get to stay with that wallet before it decides to switch up. But yeah, at the end of the day, we want to be able to see a wallet, identify it as profitable. And if it's profitable to the point that it makes sense with our strategy and all that, we want to get that wallet on in testing as quick as we can, so we can see, okay, we tested it with a smaller amount and it's looking good. It's making us money on a smaller amount. Let's bump it up some so it can actually make us some serious money that's really going to impact our bankroll here. So let me start off by sharing my screen here. Again, you guys know where we're going. We're going to start at the profitable wallets like we will pretty much most chats that we have, unless there's something else that's pressing that I feel like is going to take a lot of time and we don't start here because I want to cover a different topic, which will happen from time to time, but largely expect us to start here. So I'm just going to start sharing my screen with you guys. If there's any issues with audio, if there's any issues with the screen sharing at any time, please bring it to my attention. I don't always realize it right away, so if you guys can just notify me, I can get it resolved. All right, but you guys should be able to see what I'm looking at now in terms of my Telegram screen under the profitable wallets. And again, for our search, it's as simple as going to the magnifying glass that's in the top right corner. We're going to search here, and we don't just type in fresh. We always have to include a hashtag for it to be able to pull it up the way we want it. So do keep that in mind whenever you're looking for anything.
Amiri.
Hey, what's going on?
I have a question.
Yeah.
You use a Mac, do you?
I do, and I realize I'm not on profitable wallets. I'm on my wallet. That's why the fresh wallets were looking like that. Yeah, I'm using a Mac.
All right, because when you go to the search bar, it shows you everything, all the information about what you're looking for. But if I go to the search bar, it only searches for the wallets, but it doesn't show me all the information. And I'm on
Yeah.
Windows.
So I assume that when you search it, it'll like show you the wallets, and then it will show you two arrows where you can like click up through the wallets, right?
Exactly.
All right, so that's something I didn't know. There's no way of me knowing unless I tested that on a Mac. But now that I know that information, I will remind you guys that if you are Mac users, yours might not look exactly the same as mine, but the idea is exactly the same. I think Mac has it a little bit better, to be honest. But that doesn't mean that you can't still utilize these wallets in a very similar way to how I'm going to be using it. Because when I go and type in, let's do it again while I'm up here in actually the profitable wallets, you can see I have this drop down menu. And this is what I got used to just from using it on my computer. I started doing the voice chats on my computer because my mic wasn't working on my phone. But if I do use my phone is kind of the way you described it. I type in fresh wallets. It will take me to like the first fresh wallet. Say say this was a fresh wallet. Take me to the first fresh wallet, and then it will say there's a bunch of other results. But there's arrows here. See how I have in this bottom right corner, I have this down arrow. For my phone, it will have a down and an up arrow. So for me to go through the next fresh wallet, so say I start with this one, to go up to the one above that, I just have to click up on that arrow. And it seems like that's the way that it is for using PC as well, correct?
Yeah, but if I go to the arrow on the right, it will direct me straight down because all the new messages I got. Like there will be a little sign like 200 or 300 messages, and if I click it, it will direct me to the bottom of the site. So not like you like the next fresh one. It will bring me to the bottom of the site, to the last wallet, and the Excel file, and that's it.
Okay, so the only way I'm really going to be able to totally understand what you're saying and to understand a strategy is to pull up my Windows computer. But let me think if that's going to be the best use of time. I don't think it's
No
going to
problem.
be.
You can do it later in private. It's no problem. Just go on.
Yeah, it's good for me to have this knowledge because I'm sure a lot of you guys use PCs. I mean, I'm sure it's like a split amount between people who use Macs these days and people who are still using like Windows. But that's good to know. I'm gonna pull it up some point in time on my Windows computer. I do have a Windows computer that I never use, but just for the sake of understanding what you guys are looking at when you're looking at a Windows computer, I'm going to use that. All right, but regardless of how we access these fresh wallets and how it's different between a Mac computer versus using it on a Microsoft powered computer or using it on your phone, there's going to be different ways to access it. And we just need to figure out the ways that we can access it within the device we're currently using. So currently I'm using just a Mac device. I'm using a Mac computer, but it's the same if I do this on my Mac laptop, obviously. All right. So you saw that I put in fresh. If I scroll up, I'm getting to, you can see I'm getting to later dates there. Let's see. 5:11 a.m. So no, the top is the earliest date because then we're getting Monday. It was yesterday and then Sunday. Yeah. So top is earliest. Okay, cool. All right. So now that we have some fresh wallets up, and we'll discuss all the rest after, because I want you guys to get the information that we came here to talk about. And then as far as like using it on your device, we'll figure out how to do that, right? It's a matter of a little bit of trial and error and seeing what works for each device. But you can see how I have it pulled up here. When I press fresh, I'm able to have a little bit of a drop down menu. It tells me the times that these wallets were actually pushed through onto the profitable wallets. And it gives us the same indications that we have if we search up an alpha wallet or anything like that. Yesterday, I did mention that whenever we find these like fresh wallets and they're pushed through, so meaning they had good enough stats to be pushed through to profitable wallets, they're a lot of times paired with alpha wallets. So even though we never really took time to just search directly for fresh wallets, when we were going through alpha wallets, we ended up uncovering a lot of fresh wallets anyways too, right? So you can see that pairing remains true, because as I look through the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. All right, as we look down this whole page, these fresh are paired with alpha. So when we're looking at fresh and we're looking at alpha, we're going to find a lot of overlap. Yes, there's going to be instances where we don't see fresh. There's a lot of alpha wallets we looked at that we didn't see fresh, right? Because the alpha wallets we looked at, some had, more data set to them and they weren't considered fresh, but it looks like a lot of the fresh are definitely paired with alpha. Okay, now we want to talk about these wallets because we want to implement a strategy behind them. Okay, so like first we got to understand what is a fresh wallet. So a fresh wallet is a wallet that had been created new, meaning it didn't have transactions before and it was recently funded either through a centralized exchange or maybe it was funded by a different wallet. But this wallet has been created very recently. It doesn't have much transaction, doesn't have much history. Again, the reason I say that is because it's important to know that once a fresh wallet starts to have transactions and starts to have more history, it's quickly going to move out of the fresh wallet specification here, which is telling us that it is a new wallet. So Serge was talking about some instances of how fresh wallets can come to be, right? So obviously we know at one point in time when we created our first Phantom wallet on Solana, at that point in time, that wallet was a fresh wallet. If we, went off and did a good trade and it hit for our first trade, there's a very good chance we're going to end up being pulled up in these results within profitable wallets. So we know that's one instance that anybody could just be creating a fresh wallet for the first time or starting up a new account because they felt like maybe too many people had their wallet address. They didn't want people looking at what they were doing, whatever reason it was. But they decided to set up a fresh wallet. So it can come into light, it can come into start in those cases. But we also have to understand that there's many times we're all following wallets. If you haven't had this experience yet, copy trade for a little while, you will have this experience. But you will start to see that you'll have wallets that you trade, especially the best wallets that you trade, will oftentimes only be trading for a certain period of time before you find that, hey, my one guy who's making me lots of money hasn't traded for the last 2 days. What's going on? You look at his account. He has now moved his soul balance to either a different wallet or he's moved it to a centralized exchange. And it's almost safe to say that they're moving wallets, right? So if we know that happens and we know that we can follow people who we consider to be alpha or people who are making us lots of money, people very reliable and people who seem to have insider information, all that stuff, we can safely assume that once they move out their funds from that wallet, that they're probably not going to stop trading. I mean, if they're a trader who's making so much money and they're making themselves so much money, we can assume that they're probably not going to stop trading. But it's more likely that they are moving to a new wallet. And if they're moving to a new wallet, they're going to be moving to a fresh wallet. And
sorry, quick question there. Can a wallet tell if they're being copy traded?
Yeah, definitely. Like a wallet could tell that they're being copy traded. So just imagine yourself, if your average buy sum is a SOL, let's say you only bought a SOL on every trade. It's just like that's the amount that you traded with, just a SOL. And then you're trading a SOL, and every time you trade a SOL, you see that there's another 3 SOL buys that come in right after you. Every time you trade a SOL, it doesn't matter. On any token, three SOL buys are coming after you. So does that mean necessarily like you have a copy trader? Not necessarily, but is that an indication that you have a copy trader? Definitely. And if it happens in 10 tokens in a row and you have another 3 SOL buys coming right after your initial SOL buy, and it's the exact amount, it's a SOL. There's not like, a 0.7 coming in, a 0.5 coming in, and whatnot.
I just literally had a wallet and I was getting spammed, and he was sending less than 1 SOL to and buying USDC, and he's done that like 20, 30 times in the last hour.
Less than 1 SOL to buy USDC?
Yeah.
That's still
like 30 transactions to different, and using so I think in SolScan it's showing Radium and a few other icons against it.
Sure. Yeah, so in that case, like, there could be some automatic strategy that he has implemented when his profits are at a certain point, that he sends this amount to USDC, and he automatically has something like that set up as a strategy that could have little to do with copy trade, because like when it would be better to detect a copy trader not on USDC, because USDC just has so many transactions, so many people sending different amounts and stuff, so that if you wanted to see if someone was copying you, USDC would not be the best bet to see if someone was copying you. But I told you guys about this experience that I had, and this was with this one wallet that I followed that did really, really well. Turns out like this one wallet was connected to another main wallet that he was copying from. So I was copy trading a copy trader. But anyways, it was still working out well, like almost all of the trades. I'd say 90% of the trades. But I figured out there was like 30 people or 30 different trades happening within this circle that were all copying this one wallet and then funneling money to this other wallet. Okay, but that's not where my story answers your question. My story may answer your question as, I don't know if you guys have seen this or been following someone who will do their trade, make profits on their trade, and then at the end of the trade, maybe an hour later when it's dead, they'll go through and put like a 0.01 buy. And first, when I'm seeing this, I'm like, this is so weird. Like, why does this guy keep on putting a 0.01 buy? Because I'm also putting a 0.01 buy. I'm like, is this like some sacrifice he's making to like say thank you for the profits for the coin? I'll pour some out for the lost ones, my brothers. But after seeing this for other copy traders that I copied, I'm starting to think it's more logical that 0.01 buy was to see who else is going to buy when the coin's actually dead, like an hour after the trade, and put a 0.01. And that would be a way that copy traders could definitely see if they were being copy traded.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
How isn't it beneficial for the trader to be copy traded? Because in a way, he could kind of be front running, right? He'd be making money off the people.
I imagine in a lot of instances it works out great, but in a lot of other instances, I imagine it works out quite poorly for that trader. For example, there's some copy traders I will copy and they put me in big profits. And like I told you, if you're in big profits sometimes, and part of your strategy right now is just to accumulate SOL, and you don't want to take too much risk, and you're already seeing nice profits that you'd be happy with. And I go sell 6 SOL, after I've already taken profits on that trade following his sells, but I don't wait for him to fully scale out, and then I just dump what I have at one point in time. In that particular scenario that we're talking about there, it could definitely hurt the copy trader and not be beneficial, although they got that initial liquidity in after them. That's gonna make sure that their entry is pumped right away, that they got a decent little bit on their entry. If I'm against front running him and selling before him, then that totally changes that fact that I gave him liquidity, but then the coin went up by 2, 3, 4x, and I'm removing that liquidity that I initially gave him before he had a chance to capitalize on it.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I think so many people who trade and are trading a lot and trading in bigger amounts and making a lot of money, like they know they're being copy traded, and they probably don't care because it's really not affecting what they have going on so much. But these guys who are trading like lower caps and stuff, getting in at 5, 10, 20K, and trading it up to 100K, it may go to 100, 150, 200K or something like that. I feel like those guys definitely will be impacted more by copy traders, because with just smaller market cap means smaller liquidity, meaning that tokens that your sells and your buys are going to impact the token more. So I feel like those guys would care more. And the guy that I was talking to you specifically on that had that network of like 30 copy traders that he was copy trading his main wallet with, he was always buying in at like 5 to 10K market cap, and the coin would go to like 60, 70 to like 130, 150K, and that's about the range it would go on. Half the time these wouldn't even hit DEX screener update. I honestly feel like, and this is just like an intuition thing based on what I was seeing, that these tokens were created by devs to just do an initial push to get it to 100K. Maybe they got a couple callers who were in the circle, maybe a couple of guys who got in were callers. I have no clue, but they were literally just trying to pump it to around 100K, and then they started selling off, and then they had another 4 or 5 tokens they would do throughout the day. It was so weird because the names of the tokens weren't even something like that were meta. I never saw pictures because there was no DEX info updated. It was just like got in the token, it mooned, they would sell. I just copied their sells. But then after looking into it further, I'm like, these projects don't even look like they're trying to achieve anything more than what they're doing. It's like they're just trying to rinse and repeat. And if you're making money off that, whatever, right? But it's good to be like at least somewhat aware of what you're looking at, or the trades you're entering and whatnot. All right, so let's take a dive into these fresh wallets, see if we can find any something interesting, and see if we can find some value of using fresh wallets. Because like Serge said yesterday, a lot of people will look at fresh wallets and be like, nah, I don't want to deal with these. They don't really have a lot of data. It's like, okay, so what happens if something doesn't have a lot of data? Does that mean we just veto it and it's nothing, and it's something that's not worth looking at? Or does it mean that because it doesn't have a lot of data, that it could still be something that we want to monitor to see how it progresses? Because this fresh wallet could have been the fresh wallet that I lost that was making me constant SOL every day, any one of these fresh wallets. But let's just open some up and have a look at them. Let's just start at the top, because you can see with the data with these fresh wallets, we're getting all around the same data. There's not much trading data. So it's good that we just start from the top and then kind of work our way through them. So let's start with this first one. And again, if you guys have any questions about anything as we go through, you guys can feel free to cut me off. I think I can manage myself.
I have a question about these fresh wallets before you start, because I've looked in the about today, and there are a lot of wallets. They're using it like burners. They're using it once, moon it, and then completely abandon the wallet after the trade.
Right.
Have you saw that?
Yeah, I see it all the time. So remember how I know you guys aren't here for everything, but I'm just going to pretend like everyone does come to every single voice chat, or at least listens to them. But remember how we were talking about Dex Screener, and when we're looking through Dex Screener, if we see that we look at the most profitable traders on it, and we see that they literally opened up a wallet, made the trade, they've drained their soul, their soul's now on another account, and they have nothing left, I won't recommend to run this wallet, because wallets like that will end up in here. That's why you look at profitable wallets, and you will see instances where the wallet is drained of its soul. It's made one trade on some alpha play that it definitely was an insider on it. It literally opened up that wallet, funded it with 2 soul, bought the 2 soul into that trade, sold it for 25 soul, moved that 25 soul out. The wallet's dead. They'll never use it again. So we know that can happen. So we know that when we're looking through profitable wallets, we also want to look for cases that are like that. But that's not going to be the scenario for every single every single fresh wallet that we look through. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. I am currently pulling up some resources for you guys. You guys were asking me yesterday about tools for tracking. So I went to Serge and said, what are the tools that we want to bring out to recommend for people who want to track? And it goes right along with our conversation, because yes, for a lot of these wallets, we have such low data on them that we're not going to set up a strategy with them and trade them right away. But we can find wallets that look very interesting. We can find wallets that look very promising. If this wallet is already considered an alpha wallet, maybe it's going to continue to be an alpha wallet. Maybe this is going to end up being a wallet that averages around an 85% win rate with 100% ROI. And that's a wallet that anyone in here is definitely going to want to follow. But if you never take the time to put the ones that look worthwhile into a tracker, you're never going to find these wallets that convert into alpha wallets that remain trading and remain hitting, constant good gains, right? Okay, so I'm going to drop the tools that I am recommending to go along with these wallets, in any wallet that you want to track. So anytime you have a wallet that you're like, hey, I see the data on it, it's looking pretty good, but I don't really want to follow it just yet. I want to track it and see how it does over the next couple of days. These are the tools that you guys are going to be able to use for that. And I'm going to post them into our voice call thread. So there's 2 options there, okay? That I just dropped into our voice calls thread, and you guys will be able to test them out. There's Solana Notify Bot, and then also Define Bot, where you can look at some of these wallets that we're looking at and be like, you know what, this one looked interesting. Let's see what's good with it. Okay, so I mean, we could go through the stats just like everything else, but we know that it's on such a low data set. So let's go through it super quickly because unique tokens is only one. He won with that token. He made about a 2x with it. His profit was about 10 SOL, and that makes sense because his average buy sum, which was only one buy, he ended up selling in 5 sells, but was also 10 SOL. So if it worked out to be only 100% and it ended up being a 10.5 SOL profit, we know that the average buy would have to be around 10 SOL. All right, but before looking into the trade, well, first thing I want to see is the balance, and we can see it right here that when this came out, it still had a 0.68 SOL balance. So he left a little bit of balance there. I mean, and it has a one wrap SOL balance. So there's a little bit of a balance here. So, you know, let's open it up and see what is going on. I might as well share this screen with you guys so you can track what I'm doing. Screen. Bear with me. All right. You guys can see the still scanning, right?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. You'll be able to see it now.
Now I can, yeah.
Perfect. All right, so let's find some indications of if this wallet is worth following or not. So we saw that it had under a SOL balance when it was reported on Figuru, and we can trust that to be accurate. And we can look right now and see that the fact is it's over that balance, even when we are looking at the wrapped SOL. Okay, so I said the SOL balance is still that. But when we were looking at the wrapped SOL balance was only at 1 SOL. And now we can see that it is at 3 SOL. So this wallet, for whatever reason, had added more to it. So if it's a one and done wallet, usually what we see with the one and done wallet, while they drain their SOL balance, they also drain their tokens out. This guy has even $287 of USD coin as well, USDC. So this guy might be interesting for me to watch. What other things do I want to look at? Well, mostly I would want to look at the SPL transfers, which is indicating different things that are happening with SOL moving. And we can see that...
Sorry, I found that DeFi activities tab is like amazingly useful.
Yeah, DeFi activities gives you some different information in terms of how what is swapped for it. But yeah, let's look at this.
And then like, sorry, the other day I saw you hovering over deck screen or, you know, the transactions, and you can do the same here on the time. If you hover over the time, you know, to like how we don't like to look for transactions so close together.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is amazing. So
yeah,
you can literally track, you know, like 2 sold for no data there, and then what have they done with no data? They've got their money back on the next trade and then profited almost 1 more sold in the space of that hour.
Yeah, so we can see that the original transaction from the SOL swap to get the token was at 1834, and then we could see token to SOL was within you know, like a minute after. And
that's too quick for us copy traders, because we'll have lost the seconds and be selling much further up the wick.
Yeah, exactly. the other trade that happens here is about 5 minutes time, 4 minutes time from the last trade that he made. So that would have been fine. And the other ones, again, about 4 minutes time from the last trade he made. But that first swap, that he made here, that's not the problem. It's just 1834 going to 1835, 18. It's just so close. I mean, there's a good chance your bot won't pick it up, and if your bot does pick it up, there's a good chance that you're gonna end up buying not really where you want to be. So no, this is a good part to open up. I always go to SPL transfer just because it was like the closest one that was easy to me. I never really looked into DeFi activities so much, but it's like pretty much a version of SPL transfers, which just gives you a little bit more data. So
so I've taken to opening that up. So you've got to click on that tab, and then you scroll to the bottom and do the last 40 transactions, and then you can just basically walk your way through what they're trading in super quick time, because obviously you can see the icons, the emojis, they all line up, and it's amazing. Show 40.
Yeah. I just went to the end of the page here.
Yeah, show 40, and then the drop down next to per page. There you go.
Six days ago. But then we have data from all the way to 27 days ago. So although this one is coming up as a fresh wallet, I think there must have been some type of time where this account was deactive, just not trading, and then funded itself again. But I want to just look through some of these transactions here. But you can see, like, not all fresh wallets we're going to look at are going to be one and done, because we can clearly see from the course of this wallet that that's definitely not the case, that this wallet has some activities that indicate that it could continue to trade. Yeah, I was expecting to see some type of break here, but it definitely looks like this guy was trading throughout most of his days without any type of breaks. So I don't know if there's ever a time where he was like, so we're back at page 1 now. If there was ever a time where he was without SOL for a little bit, and then he funded it, and that's what pushed it into Fresh Wallet.
And did you see, if you scroll to the middle of that page, so if we were copy trading this guy, so scroll to the middle, I saw it, there it is. So there's a SOL to USD transfer. We just can't avoid that as copy traders, can we? Because like I would copy that and start transferring SOL to USDC right now. I've just had to swap it all back.
Yeah. Okay. So any time that happens to me, like, right, I told you guys in the flood room, I'm someone who just, like, I'm holding my SOL right now. I'm trying to get as much SOL as possible. If the price goes down, it's fine. If the price goes up, it's fine. I'm not really worried about it right now, because I know we're not even into like the times in the bull run where I am considering like swapping out my main holds such as SOL, Ethereum, and stuff like that to stablecoin. So as soon as someone does something like this, they go to stable up, and I'm following this wallet, I'll just swap it right back to SOL too. Sometimes I take a tiny bit of a loss, but they're swapping to a stable coin. You're not going to take too much of a loss. Sometimes you end up better off.
Yeah, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered by it. It's just I'm only like 5 days into this, and I guess that's just one of our learning. One of the things that we learn. We've just got to live with it. Basically, it's just a path of the course. Basically.
Yeah, I mean, we could technically eliminate this now, and I'm almost positive we could eliminate this now, and it's an interesting workaround that I just thought of, but I'll bring it up to you guys. I don't know if it will work completely, but I think it would. If you set your copy traders with the new Trojan parameters, where it wouldn't trade coins that have a liquidity over, let's say, 5 mil. I'm almost positive USDC's liquidity is over 5 mil. So if they went to make that trade, it wouldn't make it.
Is that an existing parameter? Is it?
Yeah. Did you want to see what it looked like?
Well, I'm sure everyone on this call is going to get stung by this.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did bring it up in yesterday's call, but I'll go over it quickly again.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. I'll catch up on yesterday's call then.
No, you know what? It's okay. I don't mind going over it again. I think it's something valuable. Everybody should know what's going on with it. So you guys can see my Telegram screen now, right? Yeah, right. Telegram screen, yes?
Yep.
Okay. All right, I think this is my Trojan bot here. Okay. So I know I have it a little, I could expand it, but I don't think I need to for what we're doing. Okay, so you just go, this is the main menu here, right? Like
Yep.
That's the main menu you'd be looking at. You just go to copy trade, and I think it pulled it up at the bottom for me. Okay, let's say we're gonna go, let's just say you have a copy trader and you want to add this on because Greg has been exchanging for a lot of USDC. So we want to try to see if we can cut Greg out from doing that. So now Trojan has everything we're used to seeing. That's what you're used to seeing before. But it also has a minimum liquidity and a max market cap and a minimum market cap. If we don't want to trade low minimum market caps, we could just enter, for example, 30K is the lowest we want to trade. But max market cap, again, I don't know exactly what USDC's is, but it has to be, quite high. I could figure it out quite easily. But let's say we don't want to trade over 5 million, right? So we would just enter in $5 million here. And then it's not going to trade any tokens that are over 5 million in market cap, or you could do it in liquidity if you wanted to, whatever made sense to you. But I think that's a workaround. I'm pretty sure it will work. I'm 85% certain that it would work. I couldn't see why it would not. USD is still considered a coin. It has liquidity. It has a market cap. So, you know what? Let me go to.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. So you guys could see how you could use that to hopefully get rid of that issue. But I'm going to see if that would be a workaround for sure. So I'm going to share your screen back to where we were before. Share, and I'm going to go to okay, so he swapped to USDC. So let's just go to USDC here. All right, so now we got the token address. Let's see. Here it is. All right. And I'm just
it's on the left there, wasn't it? Oh.
I think I got the right one, but we'll see. Yeah, I did. So let's see what's going on here. The market cap is 33.2 billion. So as long as you do anything under 33.2 billion, it shouldn't be trading into USDC anymore. So if you don't want that to happen, you can just set it at, I don't want it to trade in anything over 5 million, and it won't trade into USDC anymore.
Yep, thank you.
No problem. And liquidity, you could see if you wanted to do the liquidity, just do I don't want to trade into liquidity over, let's say, a 1 mil or something, because realistically, you probably don't want to copy trade into something over 1 mil liquidity. But yeah, you can see it's 7 mil. So even if you wanted to do 5 mils, you'd be able to do that. All right. So let's go back to taking a look at the fresh wallets to see what else we can uncover. The first one, a little bit strange, seeing all that activity. I was not expecting to see that. But let's see. Why is the Telegram looking like this? Maybe I have to pull it up first.
Well, don't we now have to check another fresh wallet?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. That's why I'm trying to get to the Telegram screen here. There we go. You guys should be able to see it. All right. Here we go. Let's see what we can find on the next one. So we're gonna go just to profitable wallets again. We already know we checked the first one, so we're just gonna go straight to the second one. Again, you guys know how I'm doing this by now, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. But I'm going down to the second wallet here.
This is the screen small. Small. It looks like we're looking at your phone or something. Oh, there we go.
Now? Yeah, the thing is, I the only way for Mac to get it to show up, I have to put it small enough so that both screens can be up, both the screen from Telegram where I'm doing the voice call and this other Telegram screen. So it's like sometimes I leave it small if we're just going to be on it quick. But if you guys want me to expand it, just let me know and I'll be able to do that. Okay, so let me close and here. Okay, cool. So looking at this guy, he made a 31, pretty much 32 sold trade. And it looks like he had 6 buys on that and 9 sells, but it was only on 1 token. So let's look into this and see if there is anything worthwhile of us to put on one of those trackers that I provided to you. So we can see now, just based off, we were talking about that other guy selling within like the minute. You can see his average hold time was about 30 minutes. So that looks kind of promising to us. As far as balance goes, when it was reported here at 1.28 SOL. So again, something that might be worthwhile for us to look into. So let's go ahead and pull it up. Give me a sec. I'm going to go back to Telegram for just a second. Okay. So you guys are still looking at the Telegram, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I made a mistake by reading the bottom balance as this balance. So this one actually has a wallet balance of 62.35 SOL. So there was 31 SOL profit. So we know he had some SOL in there to begin with. But let's look what he ended up with here. Okay, so So odd when I look at it, I'm getting more trades than I want to be seeing here. So I'm just making sure that I am looking at the right wallet. I've done this hundreds of times. Cash wallet, okay. The token name is Zoom. Yeah, so we are looking at the right wallet. Okay, anyways, I'll show you guys what I'm looking at now. I just wanted to make sure I was looking at the right thing before I popped it up to you guys. Here we go. So I'm going to swap screens with you guys and show you guys the soul scan that I'm looking at. All right, so you can see it now with, you can see that transaction that he had was called Zoom. So the token was Zoomies. So you can see kind of, again, what happened. Like that gentleman said, we could look at DeFi activities to kind of see how the soul was interacted. So he initially bought 5 soul of this, and you can see he sold it for substantially more. You know, he already recovered pretty much 5 soul here, another 10 soul, another 10 soul. So that's 20, 30, well, that's over 40, 43, 48. Let's bring us up to about 55 soul there that he made and sells 55 souls from 5 souls. So he made over a 10x on that. So let's see. I can go through these more and see if there's anything else. Oh, yeah, there was. So he was actually buying a lot of 5 souls, it looks like. So this was 5 souls swap to Zoom, 5 souls swap to Zoom, another 5, another 5, another 5. And another 5. Okay. But what we can see here is, like, looking at the balance too, is we can see there is still quite a bit of other tokens. So it looks like at some point he was trading Ponky, unless they just airdropped it to him for any reason. He holds $800, which is not a super small amount to hold of some other random token. So we could think that a wallet like this would go on to have more history looking at the DeFi activities. We're not really able to see anything past the Zoom. So what we're seeing based on the scanner is accurate there. But we can see, if we just look at the SPL transfers, that he had received this Happy Cat. But again, different from looking at the DeFi activities where it can see, like, okay, how did you receive this Happy Cat? Was it airdropped to him? Did he buy pre-sale? Something like that? Was it just given to him for free? But we can see him making some trades about a month ago, selling out some stuff, mostly a lot of stuff coming in. But we can see there's some history in this wallet of things occurring. You know, there's over 2 years that this wallet is been active. So now I am more interested to see exactly how the threshold is running for new wallets, because most of the time when we do see fresh wallets, it is going to be a wallet that is a fresh wallet, but a wallet now that's having close to 2 years activity, even if it went, it could have went like dormant for a little bit, and that's what ended up considering it a fresh wallet again, because it just started having activity after a while. that definitely could be a consideration. Or if it didn't have funds for a while and didn't have any soul balance, but then was transferred in from soul balance to make a trade like this, then that could definitely be something that impacts that. So I'll get further clarification on that too, just to see how the profitable wallets bot system will pick out a fresh wallet in terms of, a general sense. If we're just talking about a fresh wallet, it means as it says, but there could be parameters that make this fall into a fresh wallet. So the first two that we looked at, we could see that although they were labeled as fresh wallets, and we can look at the SPL transfers here, but the DeFi activities, line up with it of being a fresh wallet. It's odd that it doesn't show any other history of what happened when we can see there's other history of what happened. But at the same time, I don't know how long DeFi activities has been active for, and something being in beta, I don't always click in it because I don't always trust the information. But now looking at this, it looks like it's pretty accurate. It looks like it's pretty trustworthy, but maybe they don't actually have all the data synced up as well. And for that reason, we are going straight back to Telegram, and we are going to see what the next fresh wallet has in store. So we looked at the first two. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. It's going to be pretty small, but I'll make it larger in a sec. All right, cool. Perfect. So we looked at the first two. I'm just going to go to the next one here. All right. I could open it for you guys, but I'm just going to go through it quickly because, again, actually this one I'll open. It has 3 unique tokens on it. No, that's pulling up the scalper. Let's see. 1 unique token. All right. 100% win rate. Had a rather small loss in comparison, small win in comparison to these other guys that we were looking at previously. But let's see if this data, now that we looked into it, remains true. So there's not too much that we need to look at. The average buy the time between buy and sell was 2 hours and 55 minutes. But again, now I'm interested to see what the soul scan looks like. So I'm going to pull this up for you guys as well. All right. Should be able to see it now. All right. So I'm going to double check the last coin he was trading. Okay, so it was Dawn was the coin that he made the profits on, the little 1.3 or whatever it was, soul profits that we made on. But we can see too that this wallet's having history. And, when we first started off this call, there was someone who said that every time I look at these fresh wallets that they are one and done. Who was it that said it? Was it you, Lucius?
Yeah, that was me, but not always, but often.
Yeah, oftentimes. Okay, so I just want to make sure I'm not going crazy here because it's the same thing for me. Oftentimes when I look at these fresh wallets, when I pulled them up in the past, it's been a lot of one and dones. I have found wallets that have had some more balance in them, a little bit more going on that made them interesting, and it was something that you could track. But we looked at just the top 3. I didn't pick these out. You obviously can see I didn't pick these out in random order. I went from what was given to us, and then we went down the list to check those out, and we're seeing that all these wallets that we're looking at, they're having some type of history, or they're still having some type of SOL balance. So we know that they are likely still going to be making activities. And you see this guy has had upwards of 11 tokens. Now, I don't know how he got the tokens. If he was
your report's only pulling back the last 30 days. And so they're all yellow because they haven't done anything, except what we're seeing on the screen right now is them actually doing something in the last day. And so it is a true report.
It should be, but I mean, as far as it goes, like, because we're looking at about 2 months ago now, so that wouldn't fall into it. I know what you mean. So in terms of the last trading days, it's not picking up if there was activity before that. Okay, great. I was having
there's nothing to report on. That's why it's literally the yellow dot, because there is nothing.
So it was in the case that this wallet was pretty much just recently funded again, or recently became active again. So it's considering it a fresh wallet, although it's not a fresh wallet, just because of how that data reports within the 30 days. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And I could go back to
fresh activity. It should be phrasing it as.
I guess so. But that gives me a better understanding, because I pulled up the wallets that I pulled up under the fresh wallets were really looking like fresh wallets. The couple that I pulled up, I haven't been one to mainly go through fresh wallets, and you guys know I'm completely transparent with you guys that although I will teach you some things and show you some practices that might work for you, that I don't follow all best practices. So like, even though I know fresh wallets are good to track and stuff, like for myself, I just don't make the time to track something, because I would rather get something that I can get today and start like either testing it today or start using it today. So now uncovering more of these fresh wallets, we're seeing that, that makes a lot of sense that they're becoming fresh wallets, because maybe not because they're fresh wallets, but like you said, it might be a better way to rephrase it as fresh activity. But yeah, we can see 2 months ago was the last time they were really doing anything. And then just 1 day ago, they have activity. So we're seeing that in the bubble there, of that little, SOL and whatever profit he got. But yeah, that all ties in. So if you are finding wallets that are like this, I think the end game is to be like, okay, for all these last 3 wallets that we looked at, although none of them were technically fresh wallets, if in the sense of what we may think a fresh wallet would be, it was more of they had fresh activity, or they were freshly funded recently and started making trades recently, or they just are fresh to the data set again. But you could see that, knowing that these guys did have activity in the past, and you can look at the activity they had in the past too to see if, when they traded 2 months ago, did they also come through and just like hit a banger and then leave for a month and then come back and then find a coin where they made some SOL and maybe they're gone for a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, if you find wallets like these and they still have some SOL balance, and that there's still some activity, this guy just had activity an hour ago, these may be wallets that you want to put into your tracker, the trackers that I provided to you guys in the voice chat group, and ultimately wallets that could go on to be alpha wallets if they're not already alpha wallets. Like, for the sake of time, we will go through some transactions of these wallets later in another voice call, especially now that I have a better idea that we're going to be seeing some wallets at least that are wallets that aren't necessarily fresh wallets in a sense that we may think, but they are recently trading again. And, putting that knowledge together and coming up with a strategy on it, seeing how their trades did before when they were around 2 months ago, 6 months ago, because this guy could be someone, we don't have the activity to say what happened 6 months ago, but we could look at his bonk trade, for example, and see that maybe in his bonk trade, he made another alpha trade on his bonk trade 6 months ago. So we know that this could be someone who is just coming by when they have alpha, making great trades, and it may be someone worth tracking. So we'll go further into these fresh wallets as we go. But I know that it was pretty important to you guys to go over some security things. And I want to have your guys' take on some of the security stuff that you guys want to go through, or some of the stuff that you've been struggling with, some of the stuff that worries you in crypto. But how do you guys feel about that into transitioning now into the security, or did you want to go over the fresh wallets for a little bit longer?
I don't mind. Well, I don't mind. I'm going to have to drop now. Anyway, sorry.
No worries. Thanks for being here, mate.
Yeah, thanks so much for your help already. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. All right. So the plan was to go over wallets for the first hour anyways, and to kind of check out what's going on with the fresh wallets, how we can utilize them and stuff. So what we discovered with the fresh wallets, and like I said, I haven't pulled enough up to see wallets that were like this, that were called labeled as fresh wallets, but then they ended up having like quite a bit of history. And the reason it's coming up as a fresh wallet is because it's just recently started trading again. So as if it was a fresh wallet within the data set, because the data set's not collecting, 2 months, 6 months, it's collecting 30 days. So within 30 days, it definitely would pop up as a fresh wallet. As we do go up through other fresh wallets, you'll see what me and the other gentleman were talking about when you just see them, like literally they just funded that wallet. The wallet received money 2 days ago and made a trade that day, made a lot of money, either transferred it all out or transferred some out. But we'll see some of that as we go. But we spent a fairly good amount of time on this. I hope that the takeaways from this were that obviously when we look at fresh wallets, there are going to be some that pop up that still have some history. That history means that, they have been trading. They're likely going to consider trading, even if they had history 6 months ago and they're popping up now. Maybe they're here to hang out now. And anytime you're seeing something interesting, he's making good trades, you're looking through the trades, you're looking for just that last trade he had on the alpha trade, and you're like, man, this guy looks like he's killing it. And I'm seeing that he has some history that you might want to put in the tracker. Same being as if he doesn't have any history, but he made a crazy trade and he kept some SOL amount. That could be a good indication to say if this guy had no history other than one trade, but he kept 6 SOL or he kept a 7 SOL balance, that this guy might continue to go on to continue to hit bangers. So I want to plug him in either one of those tools that I gave you guys in the voice chat, in the voice calls room that we have there, okay? So we're going to go on to talk about security, and there can be some biases when it comes to products, but at the end of the day, having a product that is good and trusted and known within the crypto space is ideal to keep yourself safe if you're currently just using a hot wallet. And a hot wallet is anytime you have a wallet like MetaMask, anytime you have a wallet like Phantom, any wallets like that are considered hot wallets. They're like, would I say it's less safer to keep it in a hot wallet than an exchange? Almost, I would say that, because if an exchange, for example, Binance, or an exchange like KuCoin, or an exchange like Coinbase had a breach, they would at least help you out. You know, they're gonna refund you. They're not gonna let their company collapse because they had a breach that took a little bit of money and it impacted you. But if you end up being on a hot wallet, such as a Phantom wallet, MetaMask wallet, or anything like that, and you get yourself into a breach, there's no one to run to. MetaMask doesn't have support for that. Phantom doesn't have support for that. If someone ever tricks you to drain their wallet, to drain your wallet in any way, you're not going to get help. All right. So I want to share with you guys like two examples that are close to me. One is one that actually happened to me when I first got into crypto, and then one is one that happened to my brother. So when I first got into crypto, about 3 months in, 4 months in, I was doing well. I was getting to know projects inside of the shitcoin space, meme coin space, really working for my bags, grinding hard, all that. I built myself up from a small amount that I had to about $50,000 pretty quick in about, you know, this would be between 3 to 5 months. I can't remember exactly that period of time when this was. But during that time, I had an issue with my phone and I couldn't access MetaMask where all my money was, because it said something about, I'm not going to remember exactly, but it's a pretty common thing that can happen. It's something about there was too much data, and my phone needed to refresh. Like I needed to turn off my phone and re-enter my seed phrase to pull up my MetaMask again. At this point, I didn't realize how important a seed phrase was. So I didn't actually have my seed phrase written down. You know, I was a complete noob coming into crypto, right? You know, I've only been in it for months. No one ever talked to me about security or anything. So I'm realizing that if I go to restart my phone and do what it wants, it's going to ask me for a seed phrase, and I'm never going to be able to do that because I don't have the seed phrase. I knew I didn't have it, but it took me hours to try to figure out. I talked to crypto professionals that I knew. I talked to everyone because I'm like, dude, if I do this with my phone, like I'm literally like that access to that money is gone. And then I didn't have any backups anywhere. Anyways, I just didn't have my seed phrase. So that was like such a panic for me because it was like, it was a lot of money to me at the time. It would be a lot of money to me now. It was $50,000. And I'm like, I'm just going to have to take the loss on this because I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't put down my seed phrase in a safe location like it told me to. I don't know why I didn't do that. I was just like so excited to set up this account. I'm like, fuck it, I want to start making money, blah, blah, blah. But I thought to myself, I don't update my phone ever. Like, I can't remember the last time I updated. I don't think I have it so it even does automatic updates. So I'm like, if I don't do this and I can just update it to the last time that it had an update, I likely had MetaMask then, and I didn't have this error coming up where it was saying that there was like a data problem within MetaMask, right? So I just did that. I'm like, you know what? Either I'm losing all my money or this is going to work. So I ended up doing that, and then it worked. And the first thing because the backup was 11 days before. And I know just yesterday my MetaMask was working fine. So 11 days before was the last time there was a backup that ended up going through. So I ended up running that, and then I was able to access my MetaMask. First thing I do is look for wherever, you know, I can find my private key, my seed phrase. I put that down, learned my lesson, will never be that fucking stupid again. But it was an important lesson for me to learn. But here's another lesson, which was like deeper, but it didn't actually happen to me, but it happened to my brother. So like, it's like, that's still family, right? And he got drained over like, well over six figures. Like I think it was into 150K or something between the tokens that he held and whatever that he got drained. And the reason he got drained is a pretty interesting reason. For a lot of you guys, you might resonate with it. He's a big gamer, so he played Call of Duty, and he would always get like these hacks and stuff. So he had like auto shooting, I guess, and like so he could look through walls and just like he was just playing with hacks. But when he downloaded all these hacks, he had to open up his computer so it was like susceptible to viruses, but also allowing him to download all these hacks. But once he imported his thing to his computer, his MetaMask account to his computer, got drained within like 20 seconds of him doing it, and he knew right away what had happened. Like he knew that like the viruses that could have came in, and like the openness that he had to make his computer to make it able to run the hacks was the ability to drain his wallet. So if you guys are running any type of systems on your computer that makes your computer like a little bit more vulnerable, you've had to open it up a lot more, you always got to wonder if there is suspicious programming going into your computer, which is allowing them to see things like not only credit card information, but the biggest thing is crypto information. Because if shit goes wrong with your credit card, you get money stolen on your credit card, you can get it back, right? Could say it wasn't me spending it. They do an investigation. It takes a couple weeks, but you get your money back. But if it happens in crypto, you cannot run to anyone. So that's why I wanted to first share these stories with you to show you guys like it happens to real life people all the time. And I want to be able to help you guys avoid it as much as you can. So the reason I pulled up this ledger is because, well, in his instance, could he still have been taken advantage of even if he had this exploit to his computer if he had a ledger? Absolutely not. So the way ledgers work is, say I was going to send a transaction right now to Lucius. I was going to send him 1 solana, right? If I'm sending it from my ledger, I can't just do that transaction. I actually have to take my ledger, which is a physical device that has buttons on it. Looks like a USB stick, like what this guy's holding on his hand. And I have to plug it into my computer, and I have to approve the transaction on my ledger app. And then I have to enter my key code that I create into the ledger, and then it sends. So if someone was in the position of able to having access to your funds, like they did my brothers, and they went to send it off, it wouldn't let them send it off because it still needs that access code from here. So that's how you can keep yourself protected. And if you have any more than like $500 in your account, like that's going to be a pretty big blow. Like $500 goes, it's not as much as it used to be, but it's still $500. It goes a long way. It can help you go out for a few nice dinners. It can help you, pay part of the utilities and all that stuff. So, the reason I recommend this is because it's even if you do get breached, you're not going to get breached past this. So people can go to the point where they're able to access your funds. They can even go to send your funds, but your funds will never be sent out of your ledger until you put a code in. So I think you guys can understand how beneficial that would be. How many of you guys are using one of these right now?
I can speak for myself, but I don't.
Do you have a substantial amount of money that you would be like devastated if you lost?
Yeah, but I got it spread. Like I have I have some of wallets. I have some on exchanges. Like I got it spread. It's not all in one place.
Okay, that's a good move to do, but this is a better move to do. The reason I'm saying that is because I like obviously will keep my money in exchanges, but I don't. The reason because exchanges could freeze your money, and they've been known to doing that. Exchanges could also pull in FTX. FTX was a huge exchange,
Yeah, yeah, I know. I know
owned
the
by
story.
so many, partnerships with like the NBA, all that. You know what I mean? FTX was everywhere, right? So
Yeah,
it was trusted. People were using it. But now so many users who used FTX lost millions and millions of dollars that they thought were safe on this exchange. Could that happen to your exchange? Absolutely it could. Your exchange could go insolvent and just literally not be able to pay everyone back. So although it's good to have things scattered in different ways, I mean, like even if you're going to use a ledger and you have a very large amount, it might be good to scatter it between two ledgers. One ledger you keep in a safety deposit box within your bank, another ledger that you keep at home that's more accessible, that you keep less money on, or something like that. But when you have the ledger, you are in full control of the money. No one's going to be able to freeze it at any point in time because it's not on a crypto exchange. It's just like being on a MetaMask, essentially. It creates your own wallet, but it's a hardware wallet where, again, you have to approve your transactions there.
I feel you on that one. But we have one problem. Like me, I have one problem. We live in Germany, and if you buy a ledger, like they are after you then. You know what I mean? With taxes and everything, like they look into you after you bought a ledger.
If you bought a ledger, they look into you. So there's no stores in Germany that sell ledgers?
They are, but I'm convinced that they have to like, how do I say? Yeah, share the information that you bought one
No,
because of
so
taxes.
Ledger doesn't do that. I mean, it's just as, like I said, it's just as safe and anonymous as having your own wallet. Like it creates your own ID. You never put your information anywhere. And if you were worried about like the fact of if you go to the store, maybe like they, run your credit card or whatever you pay with, it's like, well, like send someone else to the store who's not involved in crypto at all. They buy it for you, give it to you, give them the money, and then boom, there's no connection to you whatsoever, even if you're in Germany.
On that one, but yeah, I
But
guess
one thing is that exchanges, if you're worried about them reporting for taxes and stuff, like exchanges, crypto exchanges, the legitimate ones for the most part, they do have to report everything that's going through. Like when you sign up for these exchanges, you have to do a KYC process, right?
that's the whole point of having multiple wallets.
I get you, man. I get you. But I just would hate to see any of you guys get drained because, you skipped out on a simple step of just getting a ledger or a Trezor. There's multiple options for them. The ledger and Trezor are the most popular. I've used ledgers since I started and haven't had any issues with them, and it's always been safe and reliable. I feel comfortable having my money there. I know I'm never going to wake up and be drained, but when you have money on a hot wallet, you never know. Like you could have plugged it into just some stupid minting site when you're trying to mint an NFT, and that NFT was super popular. And you're like, yep, it's safe to connect to, but no, the NFT wasn't really trying to sell NFTs. They were trying to see how many people would connect their wallet so they could drain all their wallets.
Get you. I saw that. I saw some even. I saw some of that.
You're gonna see it all the time, man. And so many people are so new that they're so blinded to some of these things, and that's why I thought it was an important thing to talk about. So it's not only getting, yourself a ledger, which I think is important, and it's awesome when you use it. You can track your money that you have in it. It's so easy to send money out and stuff. As long as you have your ledger there, they have it to the point right now that you can connect it to Bluetooth, so you don't actually have to plug it directly in. As long as you're within the room, within your computer, you can just connect it to Bluetooth, enter in your password, and then send money out. So it has become and you can do it from your phone too. So you as long as your ledger is charged and your ledger holds a battery life, say you're out and about and you're at a cottage or whatever and wanted to bring your ledger there because you didn't know if you had to send funds or whatever, you could just use Bluetooth it to your phone and send out funds. So I do really recommend that, but there is other points that I want to talk to you about security as well. Did anybody have any questions about the ledger that I was talking about?
Yeah, the Bluetooth ledger. Do you got one?
Yeah, I have one. I have two actually.
What kind of models are there, or like labels, or how
What
they
kind
call
of models?
Yeah.
I think the one I have is the stocks is new. I don't even know what the stocks is about, but I think I either have the X or the S plus. I'll have to pull it up to see. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, I think this is one that I have. So you can see here.
You use it with an additional app, or how you use it, or you can just connect it to your wallet, to your software wallet.
You use it with the Ledger app. This becomes your wallet. This generates you a recovery phrase just like your wallet would. This becomes your new wallet, right? And it gives you an app to use it on, so you can like track all your tokens on it. You can say you have a shitcoin that is worth like 30K and you still want to hold it and see if it goes up or whatnot. You can actually hold your 30K shitcoin within the ledger, so you know that like if someone breaches your wallet, you're not going to lose 30K on Ponky or Dog with Hat or whatever it is that you're holding.
Okay, that's real.
Yeah, so it says on the go, manage your cryptos and NFTs wherever you go. Connect your Ledger and Nano X to your smart phone with Bluetooth. So again, like I said, you can just connect it with Bluetooth and be able to send tokens or send Sol if you need to and stuff. I use it as like almost a bank though. Like I don't connect my Ledger to anything other than the Ledger app. And I just send money to it. And I hope I never have to send money out from it because I need to take money out of my bank. I hope money's always coming in, but if I need money to send out, then I just send it out to my hot wallet, my trading wallet, where I don't keep much money. So if there's more questions on this, we can still continue to go through more questions on the ledger, but I do want to bring it up while I'm on the topic of not keeping too much in your trading wallet, because for example, my trading wallet has been connected to Bonk because it was the first bot that I used to trade Solana. And now it's also been connected to Trojan. So those are the two that I have it connected to. But again, if either of those two got a breach, you know, my assets that I hold within that wallet are connected to both of those. So if either two got a breach and it drained my wallet, I could be out that money. You know, there's no guarantees that they're going to give the money back. So I think it's really important to know, like, every time you hit a certain balance with your trading wallet, which you're using for copy trade or regular trade and stuff, send that excess money out. For me, like currently, like I usually enter trades between 0.5, 1 to 2 Sol. So like anything above 7 Sol, I'll just remove out of my account because I keep my account like pretty much topped up around 7 Sol. If it goes to 8, I might leave it there for a bit, wait till I get to like 9 or 10. And then when I have that extra, you know, say it's got to 10, I have 3 Sol, I send that to my bank, you know, my safety my safety wallet. And then yeah, then you just have less risk. So you have less risk in terms of if something happened, because you know you're still running it on a hot wallet. But you also have less risk if your traders go fucking crazy over the day and you're not paying attention because you're out with your girl or you're out with the homies and you're just having a good time. You're not looking at your phone and your traders are literally going crazy, for firing off buy after buy after buy after buy, and they're all buying at once and they're getting rugged and they're hitting. It's like, well, at least you know you only lost the amount that you allow yourself to keep in there. But if you are keeping like 20 SOL, you know, and that's not really part of your strategy to need 20 SOL in there, and that gets drained, like it's a lot more devastating than if you only drain 5 SOL, right?
But I need to catch up on another point you said. Do you ever have that your traders all trade at the same time, or do you turn them off while one is trading?
Very rarely. Okay, I keep them all on at the same time. I do that if I'm up and I can monitor them. I keep them all on because like it's not too much for me to monitor. Even if I got like 8 traders going, they're not all firing off at once. Sometimes one fires off and then another fires off minutes later. But yeah, I keep them all going at the same time myself.
And would you prefer to leave them all on, or would you prefer like turn someone off if one is trading like you said, like going crazy on trades? Because I have one, he's always going crazy. That whale I told you about yesterday, like he buys crazy.
But is he making you money? Because I have one guy that goes like super crazy when he goes, and sometimes like 75% of my balance he's used in buys, but then he comes through with like a 4x on that and I'm up like, you know, 10, 20 SOL. So it's like, you know, every time he trades, like most of my traders, I get excited. Every time I see his name come up, my heart drops to my stomach. I'm like, oh fuck, what is he up to now?
Here's the trader's name. This no good man, is it?
No good man. No, I have this guy. I have him labeled as I found one. My buddy has him labeled as Hamlet because we found him on Hamlet. But anyways,
Yeah, that's what just I wanted to ask, because sometimes like you told me the story of you always turn off them traders when you go to sleep, or them one you're not trusting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not all of them, though. Not all of them. Like I trade off that guy when I go to sleep. that's pretty much it. And last night I left him on. I was like, oh nice. I had some trades go off while we were here and made some money. That's good. I didn't realize. Okay. Back to where we're at. But I left him on last night. I don't know what I was thinking. I had a really long night last night and I got home and it's already 10:30. I'm ready to like hop into bed, relax. Like, and when I say relax, like work a little bit, but work from bed and just like kind of chill out. But I forgot to turn him off last night, and he didn't do any damage. He hasn't even been trading for the last 2 days. I think he might be from the same country as me and had a long weekend or something.
Like
I had a question.
2 days in trade or stuff like that. Like I have a lot of them traders.
Yeah, someone else did the other question.
Yeah, I was curious about when you purchase a ledger, where you should get it from, as far as the risk of getting it like a secondhand, like eBay or something, versus the actual site.
That's such a great question to ask, man, and I should have brought it up from the start. But I'm glad that you brought it up. So never purchase a ledger secondhand. The reason being is because if someone has opened it before, that means they have the private keys or the seed phrase for it. So there is a scam that goes on with these devices where people will buy them, literally open them up, get the seed phrase, package them up, and then they'll sell them again. So what you want to make sure for is like you're either buying them from a reputable place. Like I have an electronics store around here that's like big in and around my country. So like I buy them from there most recently. When I first started getting them, I just ordered them directly from Ledger and got them shipped to my house. That's obviously a safe way to do it because they're not going to send you a secondhand product. But if you buy it from Amazon or if you buy it from eBay or something like that, you could get scammed. The minute you put money in there, someone could notice, oh, look, there was a deposit, and they're tracking the wallet, and they just drain it because they already have it up on their thing, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because although you do need the two-step authentication, you could technically import this to, like, let's say a Phantom wallet through that seed phrase. If they have that access to the seed phrase, you're still fucked. You cannot ever give someone access to your seed phrase. So yeah, if you're buying it, buy it directly from the Ledger store, or go to, if you have an electronics store near you that is like, it has to be like a high end one. You know what I mean? Like if you have it's like we have a place here called Best Buy, and it's like the Walmart of electronic stores. Like they sell all of the top name brand electronics. They bring in a lot of money, and it's a trustworthy store. And when I'm going there, I ask them to see the ledger, and I investigate it to make sure that it doesn't look tampered with. There's no way it possibly could be open. The wrap that it's on is still properly like shrinked onto it. You know what I mean? Like I take extra precaution even when buying from there.
And then what do you think about, let's say you get the ledger and it has the option for ledger to save, basically to recover your seed phase. Like, do you take that option from them, or are you like, nah, I'm good?
I can't remember doing it in the past, and I've only set these up in the past. Like I've had them set up for so long now. But if there was a recovery option, yeah, because that was the one thing about Ledger. It's like, there was a little bit of a debate about it when they brought out that there was a recovery option. I think I remember seeing this. And people are like, okay, if there was a recovery option, that means there was access to these like in a back door the whole time. So it makes it not as safe since there's a recovery option. But that FUD had been dwindled down quite quickly, and Ledger's, still the golden standard and known to be safe. But I probably wouldn't do the backdoor option. The biggest risk of having your seed phrase just written down, and I was always worried about this too. Worried to the point when I made a lot of money last bull. I'm like, okay, it's time to move my money out of this ledger, because what if a fire happens in my house and my seed phrase that I have written down just goes up in, because you don't want to take a picture of it on your phone, because if someone accesses your phone, they have your seed phrase, and again, they're going to drain it. So you can only store it on that piece of paper, or there's little devices you could buy on Amazon that have like metal buttons that you can prick, so you can like kind of write out your seed phrase on them and stuff like that. Or even Ledger sells a tool now. Let's see, supported services. They have a tool now where it's like a tube that you could put it in that's fireproof. Something like that. But yeah, that's your biggest risk, is that like, okay, the house burns down, then you're fucked. But it's like, if you have a fireproof safe, you can put it in there and you're good. Or if you're keeping it stored in your bank, you trust your bank, and you're keeping your ledger stored in your bank with your seed phrase there. Obviously, it's safe in the bank vault. It's not going to burn.
Cool. Thanks for your help.
Yeah, no problem. If you guys have any other questions about anything around like security and safety, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep on going off the top of my head of like other things that I find important. Was there any other questions before I go forward?
Do you have a recommendation of what hot wallets you recommend? I'm old school MetaMask, but I hear a lot about, Rainbow Wallet and Robbie and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm old school MetaMask too in terms of like an ETH wallet, but as far as like Solana goes, I use Phantom wallet. And I mean, at the end of the day, if your wallet is doing what it's supposed to do and you're not getting breaches when you shouldn't get breaches, stick with the wallet that you know and you've been using. I mean, MetaMask has been around forever. They're continuing to develop, continuing to fix bugs and stuff. Like MetaMask, I would say, is still the gold standard. I think that's 90% of what my friends use for ETH trading, and I think Phantom is 90% of what people are using for Sol trading.
Gotcha. Thanks.
No problem. All right, so let me just bring up some other topics in terms of security that might be important for you guys. That whenever you're connecting to something new, it's something new that you want to test, regardless if it's a new DApp that a project you're that you're using comes out with and stuff. Never connect your main wallet, even if you need money to connect to this DApp and you need a little bit to play around with it, use it and stuff like that. Just put the money that you need into a new wallet and use that new wallet to connect with the DApp. It's just safest practice. 90% of these DApps that are coming out aren't coming out with even any type of audit. And although the project may seem trustworthy, it's at a higher market cap and they brought out a new tool and you're excited to use it. You don't want to risk connecting your main trading wallet that has most of your funds to that. That's one point. If you're ever farming anything, it's the same point as I mentioned before. When you're farming stuff, generally it requires you to have a little bit of money to participate in the farming. Some farming is free, but if it requires you to have maybe $10 to $100 to participate in the farming, open up a new wallet and make sure that you're only using again that new wallet to connect to it, so you don't, if it ever gets implicated, you only lose that small amount that you put in and you don't lose all your funds in your main wallet. Okay, so some of these things may seem like they may be common knowledge, but common knowledge to some people may not be common knowledge to other people, and hearing some of this stuff may save them in the future. So I do feel like it's important to go over all these little points, because I told you as I was starting out, I didn't even write down my seed phrase. So like I literally did the stupidest of the stupid starting mistakes, and obviously from my story you can tell it backfired on me. I almost lost upwards of 50 grand. So you want to avoid making these same mistakes that I did. Now, I know you guys are seeing instances where you're clicking links. People can say, hey, Eric Crypto Man just posted this project, and the link says Eric Crypto Man /telegram.me. So it's the link that you would click on to go to Eric Crypto Man. So it looks legit. But when you click the link, it actually takes you to someone's Trojan referral code. That's not so bad. They were just, phishing, sending a fake link that looked like a proper link and to get you to sign up for their Trojan. That's not a bad instance of when that could occur. But if someone is sending you a link that looks real for a website, such as, you remember I was talking to you about Soul Incinerator and Claim My Soul, websites that you would connect your wallet to burn some of your unused wallets and old tokens and stuff like that. But they sent you it with a link that looked legit. So it was, for example, I don't know if this is the exact link, so don't type it in and don't go to use it, but I'm pretty sure it's claimmysoul.com. But say someone sent you that, and you're reading it and it says claimmysoul.com, you know that that's the correct site. You go to click it, but on their address that they have it on, when you actually look at the site, something was off. Instead of the claim and the I being an I, it was actually an L. So it was like something so small and you didn't really notice it, and you thought you clicked the official site because when you're reading it was the official site, and you go to connect your self to something like that, you can be drained. So you really got to be careful of only clicking links that are coming from trusted people. And obviously we know trusted people can be, your friends. Trusted people can be leaders within a group that you may participate in. But if it's coming from anybody else, like someone, you even ask someone for a link to something, like for example, Claim My Soul, you want to use it, and you ask in a random group, like just be very cautious that you're getting the right thing, because those websites are so easy to duplicate that they can literally make it so it looks legit. The URL almost looks legit. I said it's just missing one letter that they switched around that looks similar, but you end up clicking into something like that and connecting your wallet, and then you got your soul drained. So there's people that are getting clever with scams. So you guys just got to try your best to always double check, especially when it comes to something when it's connecting your wallet. Double check, triple check, because I don't want to see any of you guys lose money and be out from making a silly mistake. Any questions about any of that? All right. Now, as far as security goes, there's so much depth of things that we can get into, but I'm really thinking about, what kind of trader I am and what kind of trader you guys likely are, and the things that you guys are going to encounter. And I think based off of that, I went through most of it. I would bring up like the whole ledger thing 5 times over, because that's the most important thing about all this. You can avoid a lot of your pain and your headache by having what you call like a bank account, and your ledger should be your bank account. It should be something that never ever connects to any apps. You use it purely for storing money or sending out money to your wallets when you need it, and that's it. It never touches anything else. Your money's safe in it. There's not going to be a breach, because again, to breach it, you would have to actually have access to the physical thing that you have there. So if you could get one takeaway from this, it would be, if you have a decent amount of money, protect your money. In crypto, we don't get the same security that we do get with our banks, where we know if something happens and our cards are compromised and people book a vacation on our card, we get our money back. If something gets compromised in crypto, we're fucked, and we're out thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars, whatever it may be. If there's any other points that you guys wanted to go over that you feel like I'm missing, we can go over them. But I think as far as, like I said, how we are as traders, how I trade as a trader, and the things that I encounter, those are the big ones for me. Of course, like anytime someone DMs you first and says they have some opportunity and stuff, like, it's probably not good. 99% of the time, it's not going to be a real opportunity. It's going to be someone trying to milk you. But you should know this by now. But again, I'm going to bring it up just in case. And I think as far as that goes, for a general level of understanding security in crypto and keeping your funds safe and not connecting to stupid stuff. If you do have to connect to something to mint something or something that's stupid, send the money over that you need to mint whatever NFT it is and connect to their site, and don't be connecting main wallets to it. All right. So as far as that goes, that's my ending discussion on security. I'm sure if you talk to Serge about security, he would have a bunch of other layers that he could add, and maybe if this was a conversation that people enjoyed, we can do it in a time when both Serge and I are on here, so we can kind of bounce off of each other and give you guys a more encompassing view of security. But I think as for now, with what I've told you, this is good enough to make sure you guys aren't going to get fucked in the meantime with this current scams that are out there. All right, so I'm closing the conversation about security. So if you guys have anything else you guys want to talk about, feel free to ask your questions. If not, we're going to end off for today, and then we'll kick it off again tomorrow. No questions? All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me again today. I appreciate all you guys who come, interact, participate, take time to learn more about what you're doing, your craft, some things within copy trading. We touch on some things without that are outside of copy trading, but are as equally important to making money. Because as I said before, the best way to make money is first to not lose money. But again, thank you guys for coming. I will see you guys at the next one, and I am out.
See you.
See you guys.